Welcome back. In part 4 of our deep dive into broadcast transmitter technology, we are tearing into chapter 4 of our source material, and let me tell you, it's all about the modern AM transmitter. So, I want you to forget any old images you have of giant, glowing vacuum tubes. We're about to see how digital processing and some really clever engineering have completely transformed these things into compact, intelligent, and seriously efficient powerhouses. So, how does your favorite song or talk show actually get from the studio to your radio? Well, it's a journey, and this is our roadmap. We're going to follow the signal every step of the way. It starts as simple audio input, then it gets transformed by a digital exciter, gets a massive boost from a power amplifier, gets cleaned up with some filtering, and then boom, it's sent out through the antenna system. Let's start right at the beginning. All right, first up, AM transmitter architecture today, from giants to compact powerhouses. To really appreciate just how far we've come, you have to understand what things used to be like. For decades, AM transmitters were these absolute behemoths. We're talking room-sized machines full of glowing, dangerous, high-voltage tubes. Well, that era is long gone. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It's a tale of two totally different worlds. On the left, you've got the old way. Huge, power-hungry, dangerous, and they needed constant tinkering just to stay on the air. Now look at the right. That's today. Compact, incredibly efficient, super reliable, and built in a modular way. It's not just an improvement, it's a complete revolution. Okay, let's start our signals journey and see how this new architecture actually works. We're going to begin with the exciter, which is, without a doubt, the brain of the whole operation. This is where the raw audio signal first gets the magic touch that starts to turn it into a radio broadcast. At the very core of a modern exciter is a technology called direct digital synthesis, or DDS. So, think of the radio carrier wave like a perfectly smooth, consistent tone. In the old days, you'd make that with analog parts that could drift and change with temperature, not very precise. DDS, on the other hand, builds that wave digitally, point by perfect point, using an ultra-stable digital clock. The result is a rock-solid, incredibly clean signal right from the start. And because this approach is all digital, you can pack all that incredible power onto a compact circuit board like this one. All the really complex stuff like imprinting the audio onto that carrier wave or making sure the frequency is perfectly locked. It's all handled by these tiny but mighty digital signal processors. And here's where it gets really interesting, especially if you have any kind of IT background. Check out these features: storing configuration presets, full remote control and monitoring. This doesn't sound like old-school radio gear, does it? It sounds like a network server. And that's exactly the point. The same ideas used to manage data centers are now running the brain of the transmitter. So our exciter has just created this perfect but very low-power signal. Now, to actually reach you in your car miles away, that signal needs some serious muscle. And that's the job of the power amplifier. It takes that quiet signal and boosts it up to its full broadcast power. And where does that muscle come from? Well, it comes from this little powerhouse, the LDMOS transistor. This solid-state device has almost single-handedly replaced those old vacuum tubes. It's more powerful, it runs cooler, and it's just exponentially more reliable than the fragile, high-maintenance glass tubes of the past. Now, here is that IT world comparison again, and it's a great one. Think of these amplifier modules like a RAID array of hard drives in a server. If one module fails, the whole system doesn't crash. The transmitter just reduces its power a little bit and keeps right on broadcasting. We call that graceful degradation. And get this, you can literally pull out the failed module and plug in a new one while the transmitter is still on the air. That's hot swappable. The whole design philosophy is built around one thing: zero downtime. So the big takeaway here is this massive shift in philosophy. We have moved from relying on a single high-risk point of failure, that one big vacuum tube, to a fault-tolerant system that's built on redundancy. The goal of modern transmitter design is simple: stay on the air no matter what happens. Okay, so we've got a powerful, reliable signal, but pushing all that power takes a lot of electricity, and that's where the next piece of brilliant modern engineering comes in: efficiency. Let's look at how these transmitters save a ton of power, and then we'll cover the final cleanup step before that signal hits the antenna. One of the biggest breakthroughs in efficiency is a technology called MDCL+. Think about it. In any broadcast, there are quiet moments, right? Pauses between words, quiet passages in music. Instead of just blasting out a full power carrier signal during those quiet times, MDCL Plus is smart. It dynamically and instantly reduces the power, saving a huge amount of energy. And why is that a big deal? Well, the numbers speak for themselves. Stations using this are reporting energy savings between 30 and 50%. For a radio station's bottom line, that is a massive impact on their electricity bill. It's a total win-win. Another really clever efficiency trick is called pulse width modulation, or PWM. Now, instead of thinking about an old-school dimmer switch on a light, which just wastes a lot of energy as heat, think of PWM as a light switch being flicked on and off thousands of times a second. By changing the ratio of how long the switch is on versus off, it can deliver the exact amount of power needed with almost no waste at all. It's incredibly efficient. Okay, the very last stop for our signal inside the transmitter is cleanup. You see, the amplification process, as powerful as it is, can create some messy byproducts called harmonics. These are unwanted signals that can pop up. These output filters act like a final quality control check. They strip away all that noise, ensuring the broadcast signal is absolutely pristine, and, just as important, that it doesn't interfere with any other stations on the dial. So, when you put it all together, from a simple audio signal to a powerful, clean, and efficient broadcast, the modern AM transmitter is really a masterpiece of digital precision and smart, fault-tolerant engineering. Which kind of leaves us with a fascinating question to think about. As these transmitters become more and more like sophisticated IT hardware, where is the next big leap going to come from? Will it be from broadcast engineers, or will it come from software developers?